Good morning, Fort Worth. It is 17 February. You found the Fort Worth Roots Morning Show. I've got a co-host for you today. Go ahead and tell them who you are.
Good morning. This is Kenna Sosa from Goisagi, the Amplify 817 panel. I'm also a filmmaker and musician.
Excellent. And she brought a top 10 list for us as a little treat for you guys, so we'll get into that in just a moment. Got some segments for you today. This is supposed to be a 20 to 30 minute long episode where we get you up to date with what's going on. It's very Fort Worth centric. Sometimes we do cover some global news, but today, first thing we're going to get into is the weather. It's freaking cold outside. What did it say on the dash on your car?
Oh, I didn't even
look.
I didn't want to know.
I swear it felt colder. It said 31. I was like, I don't believe you, car. Today is 56 for a high, 44 for a low. Tomorrow's going to be 47 for a high, 14 for a low. And this will explain the salt you've been seeing on the roads, those little white lines. It's going to be showers tomorrow, 60% chance. Could create some icing conditions. 27 for a high Wednesday, 13 for a low. Thursday, it's going to be 32 and 22 for a low. Not getting much chance to get over freezing, but it is going to be sunny Thursday. Friday, 37 for a high, 29 for a low. Saturday, AM showers, ice possible, 43 for a high, 31 for a low. And then this weekend, it is 62 on Sunday. Saturday is 43, 31 for a low. And then Sunday is 62 for a high and 41 for a low. And it's calling for much warmer temperatures next week. All right, Kenna, we'll have Sky Viper calling in here in a minute, our morning traffic helicopter. But let's get into your top 10. What'd you bring us today?
All right, well, I am in a filmmaking apprenticeship program right now, so I've been deep diving into film a lot.
Okay.
One of my guilty pleasures is watching really, really, really bad movies to make myself feel better. Also sometimes called Z movies, so they're like really low budget, so bad they're good.
Okay.
They just make me feel happy for all the wrong reasons. So,
are we going to know any of these?
You may, and if not, I guarantee you there'll be one or two you're willing to try, and the others you just may want to stay away from.
All right, hit us with it. What do you got?
Okay, so number 10 is Beaster Day. It's a killer Easter Bunny movie, so you may want to celebrate in a different way coming up pretty soon.
Speaking of killer bunnies, we watched Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Yes.
Not last night, but the night before. Our internet was out.
Oh, no.
Shout out to anybody in Weatherford. Did your internet go out? It was bad.
Well, you may notice a lot of these are killer movies. It's just a great tie together for a lot of these.
It's okay. We're not judging you.
No. Go ahead. It's all right. 9 is Killer Piñata.
Okay.
If you just go on to Tubi and put killer in, you're going to find everything is murdery sometimes. Sofas, chairs.
Tires. Did you ever see Rubber?
Yes. Yes, I have. Number 8 is Chompy and the Girls, about a guy whose face can extend like a snake, and he swallows people whole. It's another one of my favorites. It was actually much more deep than you would think.
Okay.
And symbolic.
Is that an older movie?
No, and it actually had good production value, surprisingly. So that one I think may actually be on Prime. Meth Gator for number 7.
Is that about an alligator that got a hold of a bag of meth?
It actually is, yes. It's
all in the title.
Thrilling and chilling. Number 6, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. So if you want to ruin your childhood, please.
Watch out, Christopher Robin.
Oh, yes, he's in there. He makes a cameo. It's awesome. 5 is Baby Oopsie, which is probably a ripoff of the Chucky movies in a way, but it's about a baby doll that actually looks like a baby. And believe it or not, there are actually sequels to some of these. So Baby Oopsie, I think I stopped at like 2.5. I couldn't go further with that one. But the first one was worth a few giggles. 4 is really surprising. It's called Brain Dead, but it's by Peter Jackson, directed it, of the Lord of the Rings trilogy, surprisingly. It has zombies, all the gore you can imagine. It was actually banned in a lot of places. So you got to dig for a bit, but it is really, really, really ridiculously hilarious. So highly recommend. Number 3, Kung Fury. It is all of the 80s cliches, and it knows it. And it's just It's amazing.
I feel like I might have seen that one.
Yeah, there's a sequel coming out to that one. It was crowdfunded, and it's very short, 30 minutes, but there's Vikings, dinosaurs, a hero, kung fu.
How could you go wrong?
Yeah, all the best. 2, I have Lamageddon, one of my personal favorites.
That sounds like a must-see. Yeah.
Yeah, alien llamas, laser beams. And again, there is a sequel to this one, too, that I can't find anywhere, but it's called Alpacalypse. So if you find it, please contact me because I am desperate to see this one.
Help her out, folks. Where's Alpacalypse?
Please. I need help, clearly. And number 1 is Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Okay, I've seen that one.
That one's a little bit of a throwback, but it even has the theme song by the Dickies, who's this punk band back in the day that I really loved. And
was that released in the 80s?
I think
it's an older movie.
Yes, yes, and it's so much fun. Cotton candy, cocoons. I mean, it's the best. That movie has cheered me up on so many occasions.
I don't even know if that's supposed to be the reaction you get out of that.
Well,
I remember some of the kids. I think we were doing like a birthday party / sleepover, and I remember some of the kids were losing it because we'd watched that movie. Probably without adult supervision.
Oh, yeah. Well, are you fun adults? Invite me. I will watch it. But, it's just one of those things where it's like, I feel like I'm being bad in a good way. And I'm also supporting these, other filmmakers.
Yeah. Do most of these fall into the indie film category?
Most likely, yeah. There are very few that you could tell had a pretty good budget in there. There's a couple that I won't mention just because, it's a morning show. We don't want to talk about those. But as a bonus, there's one called Thanksgiving about a killer turkey who's upset about Thanksgiving. And that one,
well, he should be.
Yeah, there's like 4 of those, though, very unnecessarily. So if you want an extra, you got Thanksgiving.
Well, thank you for bringing that top 10 list. That might be the best one we've had so far.
Yes.
All right, let's get into the news, folks. One more note on the weather. The NWS Fort Worth TX issued an updated extreme cold watch at 5 a.m. on Monday, valid from Tuesday 9 p.m. until Thursday 9 p.m. The watch is for Montague, Cook, Grayson, Fannin, Lamar, Young, Jack, Wise, Denton, Collin, Hunt, Delta, Hopkins, Parker, Tarrant, and a bunch more counties. It just keeps going on, listing all the counties. Dangerously cold wind chills as low as 10 below zero could result in hypothermia or frostbite on exposed skin if precautions are not taken. Folks, it's going to get really, really cold. All right, onward. We do this every Monday through Thursday, where as we film over here at Hoppin, right down the street from Doc's Records and Blackland Distillery. This is a rad little location where you can throw any kind of party you want. 58 taps on the wall, THC seltzers, wine, craft beers, and a fully loaded cocktail bar. Anyway, that's where we do this thing. National Random Acts of Kindness Day, February 17th. It's also, and I thought it was weird they put these right next to each other, National Eating Disorder Awareness Week and National Pancake Week. I just thought it was weird. Why would you put those right next to each other? It's Family Day, February 17th. Let's click on that one. We always click on one. All right, let's see here. Family Day in Canada. Okay, I'm out. Never mind. Enjoy your families in Canada. This day in history is our next segment. Missouri Compromise was reached on this day in 1820. The tinderbox debate over slavery in the United States is temporarily tamped down as the Senate cobbles together a compromise allowing Missouri to be a slave state while Maine becomes a free state. And they put a line across a certain region of the United States, and it's broke down like this on their map. One color on the map is slave states, another color is free states, another color is slave territories, another color is free territories, and then there was a big old section just labeled other. That all went down in 1820 on this day in history. 1913, Armory Show opens. Armory Show shocks the art world, bringing the European avant-garde on a grand scale to American viewers. For the first time, the works in this modern art exhibit, representing the latest styles of, I can't say some of these words, Cubism and Futurism, will inspire anger, disgust, delight, and a colossal buzz. I'm not really even sure what we're talking about. 1966, this day in history. Good Vibrations was recorded, previously purveyors of sunshine and sand pop tunes. The Beach Boys begin recording what is arguably their greatest and most blissfully complex song, thanks mainly to the work of their frontman, Brian Wilson. 1979, China invades Vietnam. After Vietnam topples the Chinese-backed Khmer Rouge regime in Cambodia, China launches the Third Indochina War. Tensions between China and the Soviet Union underlie the invasion. Okay, that's your This Day in History. Let's move on to local news stories. This one is from the FortWorthReport.org, and the story is by Bob Francis. Clifford Davis, a Fort Worth legal dynamo who stood at the forefront of civil rights and the desegregation of public schools, died Saturday at the age of 100. And I'm looking at this picture. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
That man does not look 100 years old.
Oh, far from it.
Yeah, I hope I'm doing that good at 100. Davis spent his lifetime advocating for fairness and civil rights after growing up in the heavily segregated South and experiencing racism firsthand growing up in Arkansas. At an event honoring him in 2015, Davis spoke about his view of freedom and the responsibility it carries. The story does go on, and you can read more at fortworthreport.org. And it was a light news day. So we're straight on to our good news story of the day. Try to give you guys one of these every day, Monday through Thursday, if we can find them. Sometimes they're so silly I don't even want to read them, much like some of our other segments. Michael Jordan opens another health clinic in home state of North Carolina. 4 clinics now serve the uninsured. After donating tens of millions of dollars, Michael Jordan is celebrating the opening of another vital community health hub, the 4th Michael Jordan Family Medical Clinic to open in North Carolina. The latest is the 2nd clinic opened in Jordan's hometown of Wilmington, and all are founded in collaboration with Novant Health. Excellent. That's really, I don't know. What could you do better with your money than to help people with our broken medical system? Way to go, Michael Jordan. Okay, and we found a crazy news story for you. I think we touched on this probably last week or the week before. The headline reads, and this is from spacenews.com, Blue Ghost 1 enters lunar orbit as Resilience flies by the moon. Really rad little photo of the spacecraft and the moon behind it. Washington, one commercial lunar lander, has entered orbit around the moon, while another, launched at the same time, has performed a lunar flyby to set up a later return. Firefly Aerospace confirmed February 13th that its Blue Ghost 1 lander entered orbit around the moon, performing a 4-minute, 15-second burn of its reaction control system thrusters starting at 8:51 p.m. Eastern. The company did not disclose specifics about the orbit, but amateur trackers monitoring its radio signal estimated that the spacecraft is in an orbit between 150 and 5,673 kilometers above the moon. Firefly said the lander will perform additional maneuvers to move into a circular orbit to prepare for its landing attempt. Okay, can we talk about these nerds real quick? I mean, what kind of person is sitting in their garage monitoring radio signals from a satellite in outer space? I don't know. I'm glad they're doing it, though, because somebody needs to do it, right? It's just never going to be me. All right, cool. And you can read on with that at spacenews.com. Did I tell everybody who the story was by? Jeff Faust. Cool. All right. Well, I just wanted to tell people about our weekend real quick, and then I want to get into talking about what you came on the show for today, other than to just grace us with your presence. So Friday, we had the dating show here at Hoppin, and I just want to give a special thanks to every single person that came out. That was insane. We had somewhere between, nobody was counting heads, and, there can be multiple people on one tab, but there were somewhere between 300 and 500 people here at Hoppin.
Whoa.
500 might be a slight exaggeration, but this place was packed. And just to kind of drive the point home, Hoppin has an extremely powerful sound system. We were getting drowned out by the roar from the crowd in here. It was crazy. I had to go to the car and get extra speakers just so that we could hear what was going on. But it was a fun night. Michelle from the Body Scrubbery did a wonderful job putting all that together. And Sherry from Singles and Mingles Fort Worth, her group, She did a great job getting everybody involved and inviting people out, and all together it was a huge success. And then Saturday we had Chandler Cooper out here for his album release party, along with Plug Hub and their market, and that was another incredible day here at Hoppin. So thank you guys. Thank you to our vendors. Thank you to the food trucks. Thank you to Chandler Cooper and Trend and Blake and all you guys for coming out and making Saturday a special occasion. And I really have been dying to tell you guys what I got Megan for Valentine's Day. I got her 2 chickens. She came home late from work the other night after Valentine's Day had pretty much already passed, but I couldn't figure out how to get the chickens in the house for Valentine's Day before she went to work, so she got them kind of the night after that. So anyway, we got 2 chickens now.
Yay, congrats.
I think it was the coolest Valentine's Day gift ever, but I was telling one of my friends that I got her chickens, and the first reaction out of his wife was, did she want chickens? If she didn't want chickens, it's not a great gift, but she did want chickens.
Who doesn't want chickens? Everyone loves chickens.
That's my weekend. What was your weekend? What did you do this weekend?
Oh, gosh, what did I do this weekend? Well, I had film class Saturday, and then for the first time I got to go out with all of my cohort members down to Bishop Arts in Dallas and just spend some good non-class, fun, friendly time. So
Nice.
that was great. I had taiko practice at the studio on Sunday morning. And, I had my birthday photo shoot. I forgot. How could I forget? I'm sorry. Dynamite Dames Photography. I do that every year for my birthday just because it makes me feel good about myself. They're that vintage styling, themed styling. I finally got to do the mugshot shoot that I've been wanting to do, even though I forgot to come up with a crime ahead of time. So
When are those going to be released?
Wednesday, which is my actual birthday, I should have the gallery to choose from. So hopefully I didn't look like too much of a goofball, but
Well,
that's
happy
what
birthday
editing
if
is
we
for.
don't see you before then.
Thank you.
Excellent. Okay. And now we didn't even bring up Gusagi, but Gusagi is a band that our friend is in, and they practice every Sunday at the Fort Worth Roots podcast studio over there off of Yale and Meandering. And if you guys are ever driving through the neighborhood, you can swing by the studio and see the big old Fort Worth Roots bullhead hanging off the front of the building. It's backlit LED, so if you go after sundown, you can still see it. But that studio was a labor of love for a long time, and after a while, we kind of came off the gas because it seemed like the Fort Worth music community didn't really have a use for it. So you guys have been the only reason we've kept that studio.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. But, I mean, you've seen the inside of it. You've practiced there. You've seen all the little projects that we had cooking in that place. And the podcast won, as far as the bandwidth, my attention, what would I have time for? The studio kind of took a back seat. But I don't know. Maybe we could revitalize it one day if the Fort Worth music community decided they needed it, but we put so much work into that thing, and then it just hardly ever got used. But I'm so glad that you guys practice there every Sunday, because it would be a colossal failure if you guys weren't using it.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. But yeah, you're right. It is a community effort, and the space has a lot of potential. I mean, we've enjoyed it. I even filmed, my self-portrait narrative project for the film class there. So we have a great time there. It's been a really good bonding space for us. And speaking of Goisagi, well, we have a performance coming up next week at St. Mark's School in Dallas. But other than that, we are open, ready for booking. We will be concentrating our time there at the studio, actually building up to record our sophomore EP. We have some studio time booked in July. So hopefully we will be ready by then to bring you something new. Because our other EP, Alight, we released that in 2022.
Where can people find all the stuff that Gusagi's worked on?
Well, definitely all the streaming platforms. All of Alight is available there. And then we're also part of Amplify 817. So our EP is there free to stream, download, listen to, all that good stuff through the Fort Worth Public Libraries. I very, very highly support that program because it supports libraries and artists and the arts. So definitely check that out, and also find some other really good new artists there as well.
And Gusagi, spell it for me, because I'm going to butcher it.
Goisagi.
Yeah.
And the EP again is called Alight.
And if you guys haven't seen it before, it is something original, unique, and special, and it's definitely worth your time. It's amazing.
Definitely.
Love what you guys do. All right. What are we here to plug today?
Well, I will be shamelessly plugging a new single that I have. It's a collaboration with Lottie, the musician. You may know Lottie because he's in so many groups. Iggy Meji. He's played all over the place and then does a lot of solo work.
Okay.
So he and I started collaborating a couple of years ago because he wanted to bring taiko into his music. So we put out a single together. These are all instrumental, by the way, called Exhale. That was our first. About a year ago, we put out one called Wander. And our collaboration has just kind of very interestingly grown and twisted and turned into something really interesting. So our third is called Odyssey. It will be out March 4th. Again, instrumental, but this time we brought in a whole lot of new things. So we have some synth in there. He told me bring in auxiliary percussion, and he should have known what he was asking for with that because I got the rain stick, the frikiwa, some sonic discs, anything I could find, because as a creative percussion artist, I'm always bringing in new things to just make sound from. But it's a really interesting piece because it kind of takes you on a little bit of an electronic journey. And it really feels like, in my head, I feel like you're the video game character walking along and the backdrop is moving past you. Mm-hmm. That's what it feels like to me as you're on the ocean, which is a very strange description, which means you should check it out so you know what I mean.
And tell her if you think, if you come up with the same description in your head as you're listening to it.
Please do. It's called Odyssey, and it will be out on all the streaming platforms March 4th. And then in March, we are going to start working on the next track because we're building towards an EP together, which is very wonderful, I think. That's not what we set out to do, but it's developed into something really special. And something I'm really proud of, and I'm really grateful to him for taking me in and helping me learn the ropes that way and something new.
Is there a website or an Instagram page or something that you can direct people towards where they can find it easily?
Well, it hasn't been released yet, but once either through me or Lottie right now, as the EP is being developed. But you're right, we should do that. Lottie,
what's your Instagram?
Mine is Kenna Sosa Author. So Kena Sosa, and then the word author all together. And his is Lottie the musician. Mm-hmm. You can find him that way and check out some of his other projects as well.
Well, you'll just have to make sure and make a post whenever that all drops.
Yeah, definitely. We've been putting out some promos. I also have a short film called Cry Hard that I'm running through the festival circuit right now. So if you are interested in screening some short films, I definitely have a wacky, interesting one for you.
Cool. Well, thank you for doing this, and can we get you back on the morning show sometime?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, we have our Tuesday live studio audience recording where we do drink specials and pizza and cash giveaways, and there's an audience microphone in the audience so that you guys can be part of the interview that we're doing with Gabby Minton this Tuesday at 5 o'clock at McFly's Pup. We do it every week. This one and everyone is special because we get a new guest in and we make a little party for them. You guys are always invited to come out. If you haven't been to McFly's yet, it's a rad little 1980s Back to the Future themed bar. Mm-hmm. And you've been out there several times with me.
Yes, lots of fun.
It's a great little hangout spot. But we try to really do it up for you guys, and it's not a typical recording because I am interacting with the audience and trying to pull you guys in. So if you're a big fan of Gabby, or if you love podcasting, or if you just want to be part of a fun event, we want to have you out there with us. There's no cover for this thing, and it's just an opportunity to get together, hang out, and have some fun. All right, and this week, our Thursday episode is the long one. At the end of the week, we'll be covering all sorts of events that are happening around the Fort Worth area so that you guys can prepare for the weekend. I'm going to go take a nap. This has been a rough morning. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for listening to this episode. Please go check out our website where you can find all of our sponsors that make the Fort Worth Roots possible. It's under our Trusted Sponsors tab at fortworthroots.com. As you move through today, we hope that you will choose love and gratitude every chance you get. Till tomorrow, folks. Good day.
'Cause she got that soul, and she give it to me. So she got that soul.